You're watching Fugitive Red Eye, and welcome to another episode of my How I Would Change series. Once again today, I'll be talking about how I would end a series, and this episode was requested by Awesome Gamer quite some time ago, and I finally got around to recording it. Part of the reason it took me a minute to decide is because this is kind of a harder question to ask than how I would end something like Red Dwarf. The Simpsons is a sitcom. I mean, so is Red Dwarf. But Red Dwarf has a lot more plot than The Simpsons does, and despite the fact that Red Dwarf itself is riddled with inconsistencies, retcons, and plot holes, it has nothing compared to the amount of that The Simpsons has. The Simpsons has never been a narrative-driven show, and to be fair, Red Dwarf only is in later seasons. But, nevertheless, I thought I'd give it a go on how I would end The Simpsons. Now, the next part I'm going to say is something that they've technically already done like 3 times in the series before, but for the final episode, I'd have it be the last day of school, and have Bart finishing the 4th grade, Lisa finishing the 2nd grade, but this time actually have it be them doing it for good. Because they've actually had that play out in several episodes throughout the series' history, and then just never, gone back to that. So they've graduated the schools multiple times. It's kind of dumb. Have them graduate it, and then have them go on summer vacation. Have this episode take place over the summer, and have it have a lot of callbacks to older episodes. Maybe have a new Space Mutants movie coming out that Bart wants to go see, but Marge doesn't want him to. Have him sneak off and see it, similarly to how he did with the other one. Have him get kicked out, but this time, they've had enough of him. They decide to scare him straight and send him to a jail. Just for a day. So Bart decides he kind of wants to turn his life around. Have him go and try and be a better person and try to make amends with Principal Skinner. At the same time, have Lisa doing some Lisa things throughout the episode, trying to make friends, possibly succeeding, things like that. I don't know. As I've said before, I'm not the biggest Lisa fan, so I couldn't really think of a lot of ideas for her character, but have something play out. Each character deserves their own thing. Maybe have the series go through this whole thing where there's some sort of big thing where all of Springfield has to gather, just so you can show a bunch of the background characters, just kind of at like a big audience. Maybe have this episode have Homer getting promoted, or something like that, or demoted. I don't know. I'd say maybe give him some sort of workplace antics so we can have some stuff with him, Smithers, and Mr. Burns. By the end of the episode, though, I would flash forward several years, kind of like they did in Barthood, and show Bart start high school and all that. Basically, have him go on, get through his life, and end it with, the whole Supreme Justice of the Supreme Court or whatever. Basically, I would give every character a farewell. Exactly how I would do that is kind of hard. Like I said, The Simpsons is a sitcom, so it's kind of hard to come up with all these ideas for. And a lot of these are kind of loose. I wouldn't want to contradict anything more than they already do, because despite all of the contradictions in The Simpsons, their future timeline actually is fairly consistent. And I also wouldn't want to completely change any of the characters, because we want them to remain the same characters they've always been for like 30 years now. But yeah, that's kind of how I would end The Simpsons. I can't exactly say exactly what note I would go on, but definitely make it clear it's the ending. End it in the future. Don't go back. It's not a flash forward this time. This time it's actually the end of the series. With all that being said, that's how I'd end The Simpsons. I know it may not be as informational or detailed as my How I Would End Red Dwarf video, but like I said, The Simpsons is a lot harder show to think of plot points for. Anyway, this has been Fugitive Red Eye, and you have a great day.
Subscribe to Fugitive Red Eye.